I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
You know what? This is a labor of love for Jay, and as a result, he's my friend. We're here to talk about that and nothing else.
They can't control me. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
The Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey.
This stuff sounded so outlandish, from like Epstein to even the shit with like Pizzagate and Haiti, and you hear like, man, that shit is so dark. There's no way it can be true. And I would be reading this stuff and be like, something like, again, I'll be like, I'm not that much of a conspiracy theorist to be like, they can't really be trapping little kids and sleeping with them, and and still be billionaires.
And the kids were not always enthusiastic about the food that they were being served, so they were always trying to call for pizzas, and you can't order a pizza to the White House.
Would love you to come over for pizza, bud. How was the pizza? Was it good?
Oh, what
did he make it himself?
Mom's pizza was better than Clooney's. They both made, everybody made a certain kind of pizza.
There's no pizza we didn't love.
Something.
Should eat pizza? I was like, well, no, I don't want to. And then, because I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to. Where did we go? We went True Kitchen.
Hold on a second.
I should have promoted things.
Let you to promote whatever you want, but I need to take a step back because you just said something crazy. What do you mean, why would you want to eat pizza?
Katt Williams was right yet again. And he really beat the feds to expose the celebrities who are playing right in our faces. And with the Epstein files out, we finally know which celebs are in real trouble. Even the ones y'all swore were innocent and couldn't hurt a fly. Katt undeniably opened the floodgates to Hollywood getting exposed when he appeared on Club Shay Shay. And from the looks of it, he isn't slowing down anytime soon. Now, when the Epstein files dropped, a lot of people were in major denial because they didn't want to believe that their favorite celebrities were also just as dirty as these politicians we've been side-eyeing for years. Take Jay as an example. He was incriminated in the files after an anonymous victim named him, but his fans were claiming that there was no way he was messing with Epstein because the alleged SA happened in 1996, and in 1996, he was just starting his career as a rapper in Hollywood. The victim said she woke up in a room with Weinstein and Jay-Z with her, with Weinstein inserting his fingers in places his fingers had no business being in. And apparently, Pusha T was who facilitated all this. Now, even though folks claim Jay was too new in the industry to be involved with these elites, that's actually not the full story. Yes, he was a new rapper in the industry in 1996, but it doesn't mean he didn't already have industry connections. Those are two very different things. In fact, from the fact that Jay-Z was moving it up intentionally back in '96 as a so-called new rapper, there are also videos of him with Weinstein in which it genuinely looks like Weinstein is his handler or something.
He knew, Jazzo and Jay-Z were in London living it big time back in like '88. They were in this huge, I'm born and raised in England, and I never saw an apartment that looked like that in England, or a flat as we call it. I've never seen that. They lived
there for a little bit?
They were there for like, I don't know, 5 months, something like that.
In your thoughts on Donald Trump and what it means for mass incarceration?
You know what? This is a labor of love for Jay, and as a result, he's my friend. We're here to talk about that and nothing else.
Well, then can I ask you about mass incarceration? And do you think the movement is...
I know y'all saw that. Rewatch that and tell me it didn't look like Jay-Z was being handled by Weinstein. Go on ahead, watch it. And to make matters even worse, multiple videos and photos leaked of Jay-Z at 2 crazy parties. One was a video I can't post here because of just how explicit it is, but it's on Twitter, so anyone who really wants to see it that badly can. But anyway, the video featured Jay-Z in a room with another man, while 2 street workers basically touched themselves seductively for their pleasure. The second set of receipts was these photos of him and Harvey at Diddy's 29th birthday party. Not only that, this video of Kanye exposing him and Pusha all the way back in 2018 also resurfaced, and everything Kanye said still seems to apply to this day.
If you take people like Jay-Z and Pusha T, they made their living our people, so how the they gonna stand up for our people? You know what I'm saying? But we forget that because we love Jay-Z's music so much. We love Pusha's music so much, right? But you think they would ever, Beyonce had the best fit for somebody else? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You think they would ever tell the truth? No, if they told the truth, they'd go to jail. You know what I'm saying? So you have liars. Man. Liars are now the face of our culture.
And then there is the comedian who flat out accused not just Jay-Z, but also Beyonce for allegedly indulging in ritualistic sacrifices.
I think it is highly offensive for people who are smart enough to really know what's happening. Look, y'all talk all that about R. Kelly. Beyonce was on that island where they was kids.
Damn!
Beyonce was on Pedo Island. Beyonce and the camel.
Yeah. They say she was in there like,
Right.
I hope I can go see her again. I've
She was
seen her
singing and
about
look. If you like it, put your mouth on it. This is what I'm saying. It's like you give her a pass. You give her a pass. She can have a concert and everything after she's a known participant on Pedo Island. It's like people want to dismiss it. That's why you can't tell me nothing about what the media say about nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the media is going to make a bad guy out of whoever they want to be the bad guy.
But they weren't the only celebrities on the list. As I said, Katt exposed a whole bunch of them already, and now the files are basically confirming whatever he has been saying. In fact, Naomi Campbell is one of them, and as expected, people dragged her for filth. She reportedly took 5 flights aboard the Lolita Express in 2001 and 2003. 2 originated in the U.S. Virgin Islands, where Epstein owned his island known to be a place of debauchery. A couple of the flights went to the Sao Paulo, Brazil area.
I was introduced to him on my 31st birthday by my ex-boyfriend Flavio. He was always front and center at Victoria's Secret shows.
Did you suspect what he was doing?
No. And what he's done is indefensible. And when I heard of what he'd done, it sickened me to my stomach, just like everybody else. Because I've had my fair share of sexual predators, and thank God that I had good people around me that protected me from this. I mean, right now I stand with the victims. They're scarred for life.
There were several emails in the files that hint at her and Epstein seemingly planning on how to ship records into the country for his infamous parties. This we're wearing back to them on how she was allegedly going to service him. A lot of videos of her recruiting models also went viral, and according to the streets, this model recruitment thing was really just a cover for her to get more women for these industry creeps.
And what do you think she gets out of it? Well, she gets money. When you bring models or people that can easily be manipulated, you get funded. You get funded. How does she own an island being a supermodel?
I didn't know she owns an island.
Yeah, she owns an island. But this is crime scene investigation.
Yeah.
But it opens your eyes to things that you never even thought of. And I connect all the dots slowly, but it all makes sense.
Anyway, moving on. Do y'all remember when Bill Gates was asked on national television if he regretted his relationship with Epstein, and he said this?
Now, one of the issues that's dogged you is that of your relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you regret the relationship that you maintained with him against Melinda's advice and wishes?
Oh, I've said that you're going way back in time, but yeah,
new audience.
I will say for the, over 100th time, I shouldn't have had dinners with him.
Epstein had a way of sexually compromising people. Is that what Melinda was warning you about?
No. I had dinner with him, and that's all.
This man sat there and said he only had dinner with Epstein, but the files tell a completely different story. It turns out that he and Epstein were really good friends, and he was a regular at the island. There was even an email from Bill Gates to Epstein begging him for antibiotics to give Melinda without her knowledge because he had caught an STD from Russian girls. Fast forward to 2021, she divorced him and walked away with over $29.6 billion. And when Melinda got to know about this, she was heartbroken.
Just unbelievable sadness. Unbelievable sadness, right? And again, I'm able to take my own sadness and look at those young girls and say, my God, how how did that happen to those girls, right?
It was many things, but I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him. I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time.
Did you?
Yes, because I wanted to see who this man was. And I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards.
And then there's Chris Tucker. His name also popped up in Epstein's documents and flight logs because apparently he was on Epstein's private jet back in 2002. Yeah, the same jet Epstein was using to fly back and forth to his sketchy island. Chris and his team tried doing damage control by saying he was only on the jet for a humanitarian trip to Africa focused on AIDS awareness and charity work, along with former President Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey, but nobody was buying that story. And it doesn't help that he mentioned Bill Clinton either, because we've all seen those recent photos that got leaked of him at Epstein's mansion. And listen, I think we can all agree he looked way too comfortable in there to not know what Epstein was up to. Mind you, Chris was around these people when all this stuff was going down, but he wants us to believe he had no clue what was happening. Boy, please. Even when Chris got asked about the whole situation, you could see how nervous he got. He was trying real hard to keep it together, but he was stuttering and doing everything he could to act like it wasn't a big deal.
You knew Jeffrey Epstein, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. We flew Bill Clinton and a lot of different. That was a humanitarian trip to Africa, and I met him on that trip because it was his plane. I didn't know who plane we was getting on, but it was a whole bunch of dignitary people. We was with a delegation, and yeah, I met him, and you don't know people what they do in their private lives, so yeah.
But tell me this, Chris. You was on this private plane, and you could tell that it was a private plane because they called it, was it Lolita Express?
Oh yeah, it was a private plane. Yes. Oh yes.
But wait a minute. You didn't never go to that island, did you?
No. I don't know where that thing at.
Another reason why folks weren't buying the whole humanitarian story that Chris was selling was that even prior to all this, Katt Williams had already called him for rolling in the dirt with Epstein, but everyone said he was jealous. It turns out Katt was just ahead of time. So back in January 2024, when he showed up for an interview on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast, Katt brought up Chris while talking about the possibility of a new Friday movie. He said the current version of Chris wasn't the same person he used to know, and that if he didn't know better, he'd also be one of the people who think Chris is a good guy.
The Chris
When we thought Katt was done exposing these shady celebrities, he went on to drop major tea about Ashton Kutcher and Nick Cannon's involvement in this stuff as well. Now, when it comes to Ashton, no one was really surprised because this man had a notorious reputation of being in business with literally every infamous industry creep you can think of. Not only that, but he has also been caught trying to bag girls under 18 years old, showing up to crime scenes, accused of allegedly funding the mistreatment of humans, trying to get weird people out of jail, and being at almost every Diddy party. He just never seems to be up to any good. People claim that the anti-CT organization that he founded in 2009 was actually just a front orchestrated by him and his shady associates to actually indulge in more CT without the authorities side-eyeing their operation. I mean, let's not forget that just back in 2023, Ashton was doing overtime to get his bestie Danny Masterson off those SA charges Danny was facing, even though there was enough evidence that Danny committed the crime. According to several reports, Ashton wrote character reference letters to the judge, vouching for Danny's character as a role model, dedicated husband, and kind, courteous person. He didn't think the letter would leak, but it did, and that's when people started seeing him for what he is. Now, when it comes to Nick Cannon, he wasn't on Epstein Island, but he definitely had a lot to say about it. In fact, he sided with Katt Williams on everything he said. Nick admitted that, just like everyone, he thought the things we were hearing about these billionaires were too wild to be true, but after everything we know now, he's not putting anything past these billionaires, even down to the allegations about them consuming. But get this, there is heavy speculation that Nick Cannon, having so many kids with different women, is also a sort of ritual that he does not want us to know about.
This is truly Babylon if this is the case, and so I would never speak out about it too much because I didn't want people to be like, what the f you talking about? Like, there's no way, like, it's Pizzagate. If somebody told you about the Epstein and you'd be like, man, come on now, this billionaire is really taking, and what, because I don't want to f it up, but someone that worked for him, even on the child protective services side, was actually snatching those kids that were supposed to be missing kids and providing them to, like, that shit in itself sounds fucking ridiculous.
As usual, people had their own thoughts, like this person who said, the scariest part of the Epstein files isn't the name, it's how many people are still untouchable. Another person said, funny how celebrities are loud on every issue except the Epstein files. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of Katt Williams leaking the names of celebrities in the Epstein file? And do you really think they will actually go to prison? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.